What's up, guys? Hope you're doing good. It's me again, back again with another video. Smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell, do all the stuff so you can support my YouTube career. All right. Hey, I hope you're all doing good. And it's me again from the past. Well, I don't even know what day it is. It's February 20th. So, I'm very tired. Sorry if I'm kind of out of it. Oh, I couldn't stop it. I'm sorry. Okay, let's get into it. So, I hope things are going well for you. And we're going to talk about the Crusades today. Continuing on with the Crusades. So, let's do a little bit of review. I'll let you answer in your head, or if you want to say it out loud, and I'll pretend like I hear you. What does the word crusade mean? That's correct, student over here. That's exactly what it means. Crusade means adventure. Okay, remember that? It is a journey of some kind. So if a series of wars were called the Crusades, it implies that there's some kind of travel. You know what I mean? There's some kind of journey. And remember, the Crusades are a series of wars fought between Europe and the Middle East. Basically, it is Christians versus Muslims. And I want you to kind of note something. You don't have to physically note it, but just kind of have it in your brain. What we've been talking about is Christianity versus paganism, right? I mean, that was the big kind of thing in the early medieval age. Now we're kind of moving to Christianity versus Islam, right? There's always some kind of religious conflict in Europe in the Middle Ages, because they truly believed that anyone that did not believe in Christ was wrong, and they believed that they had the responsibility to punish them. You also got to keep in mind that the people who believe that, 90% of them cannot actually read the book that they believe in. So they are really only believing the words of the people that can read. And they're not always going to present it in a truthful way, right? Okay, so we're actually going to get into the first crusade today. So in your notes, I want you to continue on with this Crusades portion. There are 8 total crusades. Sorry. So I want you to write that down. All right? 8 total crusades. Now, the Crusades are encouraged by a man named Pope Urban II. And I want you to write his name down underneath that. Pope Urban II. He encourages Christians of all walks of life to take up arms and go into the Holy Land to defend the gospel. Okay, look, let's be honest. Is there anything wrong with defending the gospel? No. But is invading someone's territory, does that count as defending the gospel? Is it the job of a Christian to fight in wars? Would Jesus want that? Would Jesus want Christian domination of the land? We talked about this idea before, where it's like the concept of stolen land. Like, land isn't really something that you can steal, because land doesn't belong to anyone. Does that make sense? The Christians are like, well, we deserve that land because it belongs to us. We're God's children, and the Muslims shouldn't get it. And the Muslims are like, well, we belong here because we've lived here for so long, so therefore it's our land. But in reality, everyone, land doesn't belong to anyone. You've probably heard people say, well, America was founded on Native American land. Correct. That is totally true. We did take it from the Native Americans. But what most people don't realize is that the Native Americans took it from each other. They killed each other long before we ever got here. So it's not that like they were all kumbaya and we just rolled up and destroyed them. people have fought over land since the beginning of time. Land doesn't belong to anyone. Okay? It belongs to God. So, I don't know. From a religious perspective, this argument is pretty weak, in my opinion. Okay, regardless, Pope Urban II says all Christians should do this. Well, remember, if the Pope says something in this middle-aged world, right, that's dominated by the Catholic Church, he is the spokesperson of God. Therefore, all people must listen to him. And if they disobey the Pope, they disobey the will of God. Nobody wants to do that. So we see many people begin to invade the Middle East. All right, so I'm going to put a map up in a moment in editing magic. I'm going to put a map up, and what I want you to see is that the Byzantine Empire, yes, the same Byzantine Empire that used to be the Eastern Roman Empire, right? That's still there. And if you remember, what religion are they? I'm going to pretend like I can see you again. Okay, what religion was the Eastern Roman Empire? Correct, student over here. They were Eastern Orthodox Christian. Now, based on this map, once again, editing magic, based on this map, they're directly under threat by Muslims. Okay, the Muslims are trying to get into the Byzantine territory. So, is the purpose of the Crusades fully to just defend Christ? No, I don't think so. It's a dual purpose, okay? It's like, yes, the Byzantines are Christian and technically you can say you're defending the gospel. But really what this is they don't want the Muslims to take the Byzantine Empire because a ton of European countries trade with the Byzantine Empire and make a butt ton of money, okay? So this is a way to justify a war to defend an ally, okay? So why don't we write that down? The Byzantine Empire was under direct threat from the Muslims, okay? Byzantine Empire was under direct threat from the Muslims. An invasion was an attempt to protect that empire. All right? I'll give you a second to write that down. You're welcome to, by the way, Miss Rodriguez, you're welcome to pause me at any time. Okay, if you think I'm talking too much, go ahead and give me a pause. Oh. All right. So let's talk about the actual wars. All right. First Crusade. I'm actually going to sum up pretty much all of the Crusades in this one statement. You ready? Every single crusade is just the Muslims and the Christians taking over Jerusalem from each other over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. That's pretty much all they do, okay? And you might be like, well then, why are we learning about this? This doesn't make any sense. It's so unimportant. The actual wars may be kind of unimportant. You know, they may just be taking back the same city from each other. The consequences, though, are extremely far-reaching. Because really what this is it establishes a relationship of distrust between the West, meaning Europe, and the East, the Middle East. To this day, does the Middle East trust America and Europe? No, they don't. It's not just because they're like, well, we're racist and we don't like those people. I'm sure some of them are like that, but that's not the dominant reason. The reason is because up until this point, our relationship has been defined by lies, wars, religious persecution. It's no wonder they don't like us. And it's no wonder that Europe doesn't like them. It goes back all the way to this, that there's just been this dynamic of constant war. So I want you to write down, First Crusade, the Christians claim Jerusalem. And this establishes a relationship of war and distrust. All right? Okay, so we're about to wrap things up, don't worry. I hope this is making sense. I hope you're starting to kind of get the picture that the real importance of these crusades is not necessarily the battles or really what happens in them. It's what it creates in the minds of people. Because think ahead with me, okay? When we get to like the 1700s, you know what I mean? And Europe is kind of communicating with the Middle East, and they're starting to make, treaties and deals. The Middle East doesn't trust Europe. And it seems if you don't know the history of their relationship, it might seem like, well, what's wrong with them? They're just being stubborn. They are being stubborn, but they're not being stubborn for no reason. It's because their relationship with Christians, especially European Christians, has just been war. So they don't trust us. And I don't think things have gotten any better, right? I mean, you look on the news. The Middle East is in absolute turmoil. And it's not just because, those people just can't get along. Well, why? Why can't they get along? Why do so many of them not trust the West? It's because it's been ingrained in their culture not to, because it dates back all the way to the Crusades, maybe even before. All right, I hope that makes sense. You're not going to want to miss tomorrow's lesson. It's going to get weird. We're talking about child prophets tomorrow. Oh yeah, it's going to be very strange. Yeah, kind of funny. Maybe that's bad to say. It's kind of sad, but it's like low-key kind of funny in a messed up way. Anyway, you'll see. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I do have something for you to do, so I'll let Miss Rodriguez take it away. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and you know what time it is. It's time for that outro.
Hey Siri,
Boom!
What's the weather look like?
It looks like you're gonna need an umbrella. It's a little bit drippy.